Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. Ben Golan with Chris Level, and we're reviewing spring football by positions. And today we're going to be looking in the backfield at the running backs, where for the first time in 5 years, you're not going to be able to hand it off to a guy named Roderick Thompson. So there's going to be some change there for sure. But uh, Tahj Brooks is no slouch himself. He's played a lot the last 3 years, and he's kind of the well-known name. But there's some guys behind him going to be looking to get carries themselves, and so let's look at the running backs.
Yeah. Tash Brooks is probably one of those guys around the Big 12 conference where other fan bases go, that dude is still there. Like, you got to be kidding me. And it felt like, I'm sure they felt the same way about Sir Roderick Thompson as well. But yeah, Taj and Sir Roderick were kind of like old faithful.
Mhm.
I think really good in between the 20s. I think not many long runs. Again, I've said this on multiple things that I've done, but Texas Tech was one of 8 programs in the country last year to not have a run for more than 40 yards. I think the long run for Texas Tech last year was 38 yards. Some of that has to do with Taj and Sir Roderick's lack of speed. I think though that if you strictly want to point to that and as a negative, they always fall forward. They get tough yards. They're not easy to bring down. There's some give and take there. They just are not game breaker types or a threat to take it the distance anytime that they touched it. But certainly, good running backs. But yeah, you're back with Taj. He's right under 700 yards last year, about 6 or 7 touchdowns. Maybe the most improved player on your offense this spring was Cameron Valdez. And I remember last year that Joey would, like, in his coach's show each week, we would kind of touch on he's pretty transparent, as you know, and kind of talking about guys that are about to be back, or hey, he's dinged up or whatever. And Cameron was always one, even though he had missed like a second week and a third week and a fourth week, he'd always mention him.
Mhm.
And I think that there's a reason why. I think that they felt like, and they do feel like now, he gives them something that they didn't have and that they don't have without him. And that is just the ability to kind of take it and go. I don't think he's got big time, what they would term long speed. In other words, he's not going to win a 100-yard meter race and like wow anybody. However, his ability to like the one cut and go style, and he's not going to dance a whole lot. He's really good with his angles. I think he's really fast, and from 0 to 20 kind of thing. But I think guys can catch him, as we saw in the bowl game. He kind of got caught from
Yeah.
behind and got the ball poked loose. That's kind of what I'm talking about here. There's a reason why he was able to break out and get open, but then there's he lacks a little bit of just being able to continue to run away from people, and so he got caught there. He'll learn from that. But this is a different kind of running back, and I think what Joey likes about it the most is he's so different than Taj. I
Mhm.
think when you've got Sir Roderick and you've got Taj, they're kind of the same guy. So it's like in baseball, when you have the guy that just is pounding fastballs at you 98, 99, 100 miles an hour, and then you bring in the guy that's really good with his off-speed stuff, it gets batters off balance. They don't know what's coming, or they've been used to looking fastball. Now they're having to sit back and wait, and it just throws your timing off. This is similar to, I think, his thought process and Cameron Valdez being kind of a change of pace guy. So I think it's a good yin and yang, if you will, with your 1-2 punch there.
Yeah, he's Cameron's definitely got the juice. I think you saw him towards the end of the year. He got some garbage time against TCU. I thought he had some big runs there, and then it was one of the home games, maybe Kansas, where he got I think 15 or so snaps early on, and kind of we got to see what he could do. But yeah, he was a highly ranked kid, four
Yep.
star. Oklahoma State really wanted him, so
And I
now
think
it's
people forget that.
yeah, I think
Uh,
now it's just time to stay healthy, and the opportunities all in front of him to be the number two running back right behind Taj, and just be the complement to him, like you said.
Yeah, that is clearly your 1-2 punch,
Yeah.
Ben. Now is where we get into kind of some of the fun pieces. I think Bryson Donnell is somebody that has got a chance. I think that Kenny Perry would tell you he's one of the Bryson Donnell from Tyler is one of the toughest football players we have on our team, and he missed the bulk, of the spring, got dinged up, and I think didn't ever come back in the spring. But I think he was doing pretty good. Then he's super strong. I think he's kind of a mix between like a Cameron and a Tahj. Like he's not just a bruiser and but also doesn't have just like game breaking speed, but he's got some nice wiggle. And we saw that in flashes a bit last year in the limited time that he got to play.
West
But
Virginia game. Yeah.
but the real story to me this spring at this position, even more so than Cameron Valdez, was Nehemiah Martinez. I think you can expect to see Nehemiah Martinez play quite a bit of running back. Now, I can't sit here and tell you he's going to get as many carries as Cameron and Tahj may. It's hard to get, three different guys carries. However, I would tell you that at this point right now, he's easily the third running back. And if not, 1A, 1B, 1C type guy. I saw this kid in high school do it. I think he moved from, I think it was New Deal and transferred to Lubbock Cooper when he was a junior. That transfer was blocked, so he had to play on the JV. I think there are horror stories from the opposition talking about what he did to some poor JV kid over and over again. I think to the tune of like 3,000 yards or something. Like it was just boring. It was like you just throw it to him, and it's like we have no chance. He really tore it up his senior year at Lubbock Cooper. This is an alpha, though. That's who Nehemiah Martinez is. He went to go be a wingback, Air Force.
Air Force. Yeah.
That kind of inverted wishbone and some of the flex bone stuff that Troy Calhoun runs. And he wanted to come back closer to home. And he does definitely want to still play in the slot. I think he would tell you that he's going to be a hybrid type guy and just be play at both spots. Like, what else can I do to get on the field? And but he's a natural running back to me. That's why they put him at returner. That's why I think because he's super strong, low center of gravity. But that gives you more depth at both positions, really, because he didn't move from one to the other. He's going to kind of just pitch in at both. But to me, he's more of a natural running back. Much more so than Xavier White is, and they tried him at running back a little bit too. But yeah, I think Nehemiah Martinez was a big storyline this spring that I just don't know if we probably talked about enough about him playing as much running back. But he will do that. He did it in the spring game. I think he's going to do it next year. And I think I'm excited to see it. The other name is Wichita Falls Riders Anquan Willis. Okay. He is somebody that I think when he came in, he had missed most of last season because of a knee injury. I think that he came in healthier than they thought, and I think he looked a lot better as a pure running back than I think that they expected. So I think they were considering like, man, we could maybe play. He's built like a linebacker. We could, but I don't know if I would, suggest that he's going to move just yet. I wouldn't rule it out, but he really did himself well this spring by just how healthy he was, like the way he portrayed himself and the way he acted. I mean, all these different things. But I know Kenny Perry, big fan of his. So, you've got some depth there. Tahj will, I guess, finally depart. I'm looking down at my sheet here to make sure he's a senior because I feel like he's been here for 63 years. But yeah, you've got some nice options there, and I would be willing to bet you'll recruit one in this class. Certainly possible that you do that, but yeah, a lot of pieces at running back for you, but maybe some that folks didn't expect, like Nehemiah Martinez.
Yeah, and Nehemiah, he was a former walk-on, was put on scholarship in January. So, and So he put up 400 yards, total yards from you last year, yards from scrimmage. And I think it makes a lot of sense to give him because he's toughness, he's speed, he's all of those things to get him the ball on jet sweeps or traditional handoffs anyway to just put him out in space. One guy you didn't mention, Jamari Davis, arrives in June. He was a four-star signee from Clarendon. I think he was another guy who could. I think they wanted to start him off a running back, potentially move to defense, but I think for now is the plan still running back for him?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got some time with like the Willis and the Davis
Mhm.
type players. I think these could be running backs. They could be, a variety of different things on defense. I think they view them as really good football players. And
Yeah,
so I just don't know if we should pigeonhole them just yet. Because I mean, look at it. You're going to run some two back stuff, but when you've got Tahj, you've got Valdez, you've got Martinez, you've got Donnell when healthy.
yeah,
I just don't know if you need to get in a hurry with either one of those two guys on anything that you're doing. So I just wouldn't rule anything out. Some of that'll be how the season plays out. How does Bryson Donnell do? Can Cameron Valdez stay healthy? Before you kind of ultimately decide the fate of an Anquan Willis or the Davis kid. But both of those guys are phenomenal athletes. I mean, so I think Clarendon High was kind of Davis High for we did a little bit of everything at that school. I think it's and it's funny because I think a lot of the coaches after this season, a lot of coaches in a variety of sports were like, "Hey man, I'm going to go do something else at another school because I mean it was just going to change without him there." They were winning a lot of games and like we're not getting another guy like this around here anytime soon.
won
So
some basketball championships too for them.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. So, anyway, a lot of names there at one position, but yeah, I think you're in pretty good shape there. That's again a lot of depth, a lot of talent, a lot of upside, and some questions as well. But that'll do it for our running back conversation. How about that, Ben?
Yeah, well, I know how much stock you put into spring games. So one of the guys who scored a touchdown, Clezarion Campbell, transferred out after. That's the only loss from that position group. But thanks again, guys, for being subscribers to Red Raider Sports, and stay tuned. We'll continue this series over the next few weeks.